Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Good day. Welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. In your news today, opposition member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipal on Monday submitted a motion to the National Assembly seeking the release of all documents for the Wales gas-to-energy project. In the motion, Mahipal said that in 2022, a total of $24.6 billion was allocated in the budget for the project, with another $43.3 billion approved this year towards the construction. With over $67.9 billion already budgeted, the opposition parliamentarian pointed out that the House is yet to be provided with the final investment plan. He also noted that the PPP government signed a heads-up agreement with the Stabroek Block co-venturers, ExxonMobil, Hess and Sinnock, on June 30, 2022. Mahipal further stated that the motion is submitted against the backdrop of the government clearly spending huge sums of taxpayers' money without notifying the citizens what the agreement is between the government and investors. And an eerie form of censorship seems to be making its way into ExxonMobil Corporation's public scoping meetings for its sixth project. For the third time, members of the media, specifically those from Kaieteur News, were told that their questions regarding the project are either not relevant to the project in question or they are outright refused due to lack of time. The willingness of organizers to resist a certain line of questioning first raised its ugly head on Friday last. Exxon held its first scoping meeting for Georgetown at the Umanayana, where it explained how much oil it is going after with its sixth development. There, we were told by the moderator of the session, Alex Graham, that its questions were not relevant to the sixth project. Those questions pertain to the options for use of excess gas from the project and the insurance policy in place for oil spills. At a second session held in Lenora, a journalist was prevented from interrogating ExxonMobil officials on a series of issues since she challenged them on misleading those present on project impacts. The lynching of hardcore questions was evident for a third time yesterday at the Maikoni Training Institute when Kaieteur News publisher Glenn Lall was denied a response to his question on cumulative project impacts. Meanwhile, Glenn Lall himself has offered free slots on both platforms to ExxonMobil Guyana and the EPA to enlighten citizens on petroleum-related issues. The businessman's offer was announced during a public scoping meeting hosted by ESSO on the sixth project to be developed in the Stabroek Block on Monday. The meeting was hosted at Maikoni and only saw the participation of a handful of citizens along with a room full of students that were required to attend. And in wake of two recent incidents where villagers blocked the roadway protesting various issues, Acting Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken on Monday appealed to members of the public to desist from such unlawful acts, warning the force will not countenance such behaviors. The Commissioner's appeal came in the wake of two recent incidents, one at Buxton on Wednesday, February 1st, and the other Sunday evening at Hopetown, West Coast, Berbice. The two incidents saw persons burning tires and other debris and setting vehicles alight as they resorted to blocking the roadways and preventing the smooth flow of traffic. And let's tell you, the High Court has granted the Jawala Village Council in Region 7, Kuyuni Mazuruni, a $20 million judgment against the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission and a gold miner for trespassing on their land. The court also blocked the mining company and GGMC from mining or permitting mining, respectively, in village lands at Jawala. And just before we head to a short break, let's tell you the sentencing for 34-year-old Shradanand Narain, called Anand, and a 41-year-old Daral Ponto, called Yankee, was on Monday deferred to February 14th by Justice Simone Morris Lall. Last month, Narain admitted to paying Ponto $100,000 to murder his wife, Babita Sarju, back in 2010. Ponto also admitted to the crime. The prosecution informed the court that Narain and Ponto have not yet been subject to a psychiatric evaluation. As such, the judge adjourned the matter to next Tuesday at 11 hours. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and at 99.5 FM. This is News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. We'll return shortly after the break.
This is GHK Lall, inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues, immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back. 18-year-old Devendra Khan died on Sunday, February 5th, in an accident on the Tameout Manor Public Road, Essequibo Coast. The Guyana Police Force reported that the teen was riding a motorcycle proceeding south along the eastern side of the Tameout Manor Public Road at a fast rate when he reportedly lost control and ended up between a bridge and a canal on the eastern side of the road. The injured motorcyclist was picked up by a public-spirited person and transported to the Suddy Public Hospital. According to the police, Khan was pronounced dead on arrival. Meanwhile, with almost $1 billion expended so far, the government is looking to spend an additional $300 million to continue the rehabilitation of Canal Number 1 and 2 main roads. According to a recent invitation for bids, the Ministry of Public Works is inviting contractors to execute Phase 5 of the rehabilitation project on the 2 main roads. And as ExxonMobil winds down a series of consultations across the country, one thing has become clear: that the process was used only as a tool to tick boxes for the operator. Shadow Natural Resources Minister David Patterson said that he was unable to attend any of the sessions hosted as there was only one meeting held in Region 4. That session was facilitated last Thursday at the Yunmanayana and Kingston, Georgetown, during the consideration of Budget 2023 debates. During the meeting, several questions were unanswered. Importantly, a critical subject raised during the meeting was insurance for the 6th project. The project's manager for ExxonMobil Guyana, Anthony Jackson, said he was not able to give a response, but knows that the company will not leave if there is an oil spill incident. Patterson, however, believes that this response was outrightly disrespectful, saying that if they had any respect for Guyanese, they would have walked with the full team, because these are questions they know would come up. The Department of Education, Georgetown, on Monday launched their Children's Mashramani Competition 2023. This is the first time the competition has been held after it was disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Mashramani 2023 is celebrated under the theme Mixing and Mashing as One Guyana. In brief remarks, Principal Chief Education Officer Mr. Emmanuel Bridgewater expressed satisfaction at being able to host the event. He encouraged the students to have fun and do their best as they display their talents. The atmosphere at the National Cultural Center was electrifying as students from schools across the education district showed support for their peers who were part of the competition. And on that note, we wrap things up with the page 7 of today's Kaieteur News, of course, dedicated to being blunt. Taking contractor to court. It is a good development, taking that one contractor to court. The PPP government must do more about other failures for contractors. Contractor friends and contractor cronies should also be taken to court, of course. But then they could talk and the whole baby party broke up. The whole house of cards collapses. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today.